Welcome to the channel BekbolBoxing, guys. In today's video I want to talk about top 7 the most effective training methods that will actually get your boxing technique and you will actually level up your boxing game. These training methods are not gonna get you physically fit or make your conditioning better. These 7 methods will actually make you a better boxer. Your boxing technique, your punching technique, your defense, your footwork, your reaction, your ring IQ and everything like that will be leveled up by doing those 7 things. I will tell you the first effective one, the first one, and the 7th, the least effective one. Things like jump rope, pull-ups, push-ups, runs, sprints, and everything like that makes your durability better, makes you stronger, faster, and everything like that. But they don't make you a better boxer. They don't make your technique better. For example, if you take a wrestling guy who does wrestling and his durability, his power, his speed is at top at wrestling, if he's good, like he lifts 200 pounds and everything like that, but he's never done boxing, and you put in a ring with some intermediate amateur level boxer, guess what? The wrestler whose durability on top, he's never done punching, he's never done related boxing training methods, so he gonna get beat up. But first of all, he gonna get gassed out easily because he's not used to getting punched and giving them punches. So you need to do specific boxing related things and boxing related training methods, guys. I'll just give you an example. There are some boxers who are fat, who are skinny, but their boxing is very skillful. For example, Andy Ruiz, he is a really fat Mexican, but his boxing, his power, his punching is at the point. So the physical conditioning and everything like that doesn't matter if you don't know how to punch properly, how to move, how to use your ring IQ and everything like that. The boxing skill is the most important. So I just give you a really good hint. The 7th effective thing you can do is hard sparring. It's in the bottom. I will get to that, but now let's just start from the first. The last one is hard sparring. Hard sparring never gonna get your boxing good. Never. You're not gonna be moving beautifully, striking beautifully by just doing hard sparring. That's in the last one. So yeah, the first one is pair work. Pair work, what I mean by that in Russian, it's called parная работа, pary. So what I mean by that, you work with a partner, you do specific boxing drills, guys. You're not gonna be sparring, it's not light sparring even, it's not sparring, it's nothing like that. You don't punch each other, you're not compete each other. You work together with your partner. You do certain drills, you do certain defensive drills, offensive drills, you work on certain combination and everything like that. But everything has to be just to being drills. So for example, you're working on defensive drills, you do slips, rolls, blocks, parries. At the moment where your opponent, your partner is punching you, you do this, you roll, you slip, you parry, you block and everything like that. Then you do those same things, you punch him, and your opponent, your partner does the same offensive drills. Then you work on offensive drills. For example, 1, 2, 3 combination. You stand in front of your partner and throw 1, 2, 3 exactly to his head, and the purpose of your partner is to defend it. 1, 2, 3. And your purpose is to land them. But the thing is, you're not competing with each other, you're working with each other. So the most important thing is pair work. That's the #1 effective thing. Why? Because all the high-level amateur boxers, for example, Olympic boxers, national team members of certain country, whenever they're getting prepared for a big tournament, for example, world tournament or Olympic tournament, all they do before the tournament starts is pair work. They just do pair work and do specific drills with partner. They don't hurt each other. They just work together. Not competing, but working together. For example, Bekbol, I've seen some clips of Bekbol working with his teammates, like a partner work. It's called pair work. When they were drilling some certain of moves and combinations like that. One do the combination, then your opponent do, and goes vice versa. Pair work is #1 effective thing. Second is certain boxing drills while doing shadow boxing. So I called it repeating drills in shadow boxing. What you do is you're not gonna do just regular shadow boxing when you're standing for a minute and do whatever you want. What you do is you do specific things. You do specific combinations while moving forward, backwards, sideways. You mix it up with defense, so slip, 2, you move around, you repeat. But #1 thing it has to be in your mind. In your mind, you has to be thinking, oh, I'm gonna do this, and you do that. You're not gonna just punch everything like that, like we do in just traditional shadow boxing. No, you gotta do certain drills. You gotta do certain drills in defense, movements, certain drills. So basically, you do boxing related drills. For example, if you want to do 5 fundamental combinations, 3 punch combinations, and you do all of that just by repeating and repeating and repeating. That's why guys like Usyk, they just stand in front of a mirror and do silly things. They move around to the left, right, throw just simple punches. It doesn't look fancy, but what they do is it works on your technique and your boxing technique. The pure beauty of your technique is gonna be developed when you do those drills by repeating certain movements, guys. For example, you can be doing side steps, slips, the same slips. You just stand in front of a mirror, slip, slip, and then roll, roll, 1, 2, move around, 1, 2, move around, but it has to be in your mind, and you just repeat things. You set a timer for 1 minute, you set a goal, and do that goal all minute. Then, number 3 goes bag work, guys. Bag work, heavy bag work, doesn't matter if it's a water bag, doesn't matter speed bag, but the most important thing is like a big, huge bag. What you do with a huge bag, you beat it, you punch it. And what we do in boxing with our opponent, we punch it. So it's a very good imitation of punching. Bag work is good for your punching power. The most effective thing for punching power, punching speed is bag work. The more you punch the heavy bag, the more you will get used to punching, and actually in the fight you're gonna punch your opponent like he's a heavy bag. Also, you can do certain drills on a heavy bag and repeat certain combinations, but just any type of heavy bag work is very effective, guys. For example, you can do back sprints, you can do really hard work on the back, you can just punch really hard, punch fast, work on combinations, on your jab, on your hook, and everything like that. Everything related to heavy bag is effective. Then number 4 goes a technical light sparring. What I mean by that technical light sparring is when you do very technical light sparring, you're not gonna punch your opponent, you don't get angry at each other, you're not competing with each other. What you all doing is having fun, throwing your hands like loose, you touch your opponent to the head, to the body, and everything like that. Never get compete. If it's get competed and you get angry, there is no effect at all. Just for example, if you have a friend and you sometimes just play with him, like touching, like shoulder touches or knee touches, when you just play with him, that's the most effective thing you can do. When you're having fun and you're not competing with your friend, but rather you're focusing on doing some certain drills in your head, like, oh, I'm gonna do this drill, for example, 1, 2, light, doesn't matter because you're working light and you're not afraid of getting punched because it's a mutual light work, and it's the best thing. You can work on your defense while doing a light sparring. So that's why light sparring is much effective than hard sparring. Then at the 5th spot goes just the traditional shadow boxing, when you do whatever you want. I call it freestyle shadow boxing, when you just stand, set a timer for 3 minutes and do just whatever you want, just punch in the air. For example, a shadow boxing doesn't require any physical conditioning, anything. You're not gonna get even tired. Shadow boxing is just, you're just making your technique sharper. You don't lose any strength, you don't get tired, you don't lose any durability while doing shadow boxing. If you do, then I don't know. For shadow boxing is like a warm-up to me. You just stand. I can do thousands of rounds of shadow boxing and never get tired and never get gassed out. I don't even breathe hard, you know. So shadow boxing, just stand, do whatever you want. Freestyle shadow boxing is at the 5th spot. And the 6th is mitts and pad work with your coach. When your pad holds the mitts, pum pum pum, bits. What good about mitt work, pad work is it improves your precision. You're gonna be precise when targeting your opponent's head. You also get tired. It's pretty get tired. Some people get really tired when working on pad work. But here's the thing about pad works. Pad work developed in 90s or in 190 years. For example, back in the day when the first boxing came out, and like there was maybe before Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson era, there were no pad work. There were no pads. There were just shadow boxing, jump rope, heavy bag. Pad work, I mean mitts, pad works just came out recently and become a thing. It's just for your precision and just to get used to working with your opponent and being familiar where your opponent's head is going to be, because pad, you hold them like this and you punch them. It's just for precision, that's it. And last guys, last but not least, it is hard sparring. Hard sparring is the most stupid thing in my opinion, but it's pretty necessary. You can do hard sparring once a month, that's gonna be plenty for you. Once a month, hard sparring, 3 to 6 rounds when you go all out with your sparring partner, and that's the good norm, like once a month. Other than that, the previous 6 things gonna be plenty enough for you guys. As an amateur, I'm telling you about, guys. Professionals, I believe they need more sparrings, but as an amateur, the most important thing is the 6 things I told you about. It's called school. Szkoła boksa. Szkoła boksa, in the literal translation to English, it's school of boxing. When you do school stuff, when you do simple, boring stuff, but it's the most effective one. School of boxing, like you do drills. You just do drills and that's it. For example, you go to school, it is pretty boring, right? But it's pretty effective. So that's in boxing too. You do school of boxing. That's what can I say? It's boring, but it's most effective one. I mean, hard sparring is not boring, it is very competitive. You want to hurt your opponent, you want to do everything like that. Some people think that if they don't do hard sparring, they will not get familiar with fighting experience. So for example, if you do 3 rounds of hard sparring, that means you're gonna be good in a fight. People think if they don't do hard sparring, they will gas out because they're not familiar with fighting, but not true. Some people, some high-level UFC fighters or boxing fighters, they don't do hard sparring much. They do back sprints, everything like that. That's how they boost their durability. Hard sparring you can do once a month just to be in shape, just to keep your composure, just by punching your opponent and everything like that. But by doing a pair work and a light technical sparring, that's gonna be enough too. I personally really hate hard sparrings, guys. I do them once a month. Other than that, I just do a pair work and light technical sparring. I do hard sparring with high-level boxers who are really tough. I go with them 3 rounds, 6 rounds, just once a month. What's bad about hard sparring? You get angry if you do them a lot. You just get unnecessary CTE, brain damage and everything with it. It's just useless, guys. I just like to work with somebody who's not experienced me. I just like to work with them, teach them, also give them chance to learn. And also, I just work with somebody who's like knows less boxer, who's weaker than me. I just work on my defense. I just stand them with pair, work on my defense, let the guy work, give him some work to do. And that's how you grow, guys. So that's why last is hard sparring. Don't do hard sparring. Never ever do hard sparring, guys. Some people do hard sparring. They go in the gym, hey bro, let's do like light work or something like that. And after 1 round later, they're just hard sparring, killing each other, getting angry, getting competitive. And that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Hard sparring is when you set a day, for example, Sunday in the morning at 10 p.m. Your coach comes, your sparring partner comes with his coach. You go in the ring and spar for 6 rounds and go home, and that's it. That's a hard sparring. It's like a tournament, like kind of a tournament. You're not gonna hard spar just going in the gym, just a regular day in the gym. You pick somebody, let's go spar, and like spar with him and be competitive. That's the stupidest thing. So yeah, guys, that's the 7 most effective things that I wanted to talk about. Some people won't understand what I'm saying because I didn't understand too. I always wanted to spar, I always wanted to fight. I always thought that if I do hard sparrings, I will get more better. My durability is gonna be better because what I'm doing, I'm fighting 3 rounds, 3 minutes. If I'm good in sparring, then I'm gonna be good in actual tournament. But that's not true. You just lose your desire to fight if you spar a lot. You just lose that, how can I say, your brain damage, CT and everything like that. Just do less hard sparring, do more pair work, like technical sparring, bag work, repeat drills a lot. And that's how you're gonna be a top level boxer, guys. You're gonna be a professional. You're gonna be a really high level amateur boxer and everything like that. That's why all the boxing like countries like Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, like Soviet countries, they dominate because they do a lot of pair work. They do more bag work, everything is systematic, not much hard sparring. Only in America, in United States, people do a lot of hard sparring. That's they don't have like results in amateur boxing. That's why I noticed when I was in America, a lot of people like to spar hard, but when it comes to like big tournaments, world tournaments, like international tournaments, Soviet countries, they always stay on top because they don't do like Cuba, Russia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. They just touch each other. They don't hard spar. So that's why it's important to work on drills, on technique by repeating, repeating, and repeating, guys. Just repeatment. The boring stuff is the most effective stuff. That's what I learned throughout my career. And that's why I just wanted to make this video, guys. If this was very useful, if you listen to me and do what I say, I mean, not what I say, if you listen to the suggestions I give you and do them, you'll actually 100% gonna be a better boxer. So with that, I have nothing more to say. I see you in the next one.